Welcome, 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 welcome. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for all the love and attention. Thank you all. This is another episode of the podcast. So it's the love journey. It's a love journey going from the relationship that you do have to the relationship that you desire. And basically, it's just a transition period in order for you to get to where you're heading. And the idea is that for us to acknowledge the fact that we're going through this journey together and not understanding it as a hurdle that we have to overcome, but rather as a stages, the steps that we have to really take in order for us to get to the destination that we have. I look at love as a journey, and a journey which means we need navigation, we need guidance, we need GPS, we need somebody with experience that have gone through this journey itself, and we need also somebody that can understand what love journey is, and somebody that actually wants to go through this journey with you. Nothing you want to do in life that you want to take somebody on a road trip that doesn't want to go with you on that road trip. So we have to understand that we need to go on these trips, on this ideal journey together with somebody not only compatible but willing to undergo these journeys with you. Otherwise, you're really going to be going with somebody that's always going to ask you, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" So today's topics that we're going to discuss is that love is a journey rather than destination. The how of the relationship. So how you're gonna see yourself in a relationship, how do you perceive yourself in a relationship, and how you really understand yourself within the relationship. And then last is that staying present in the relationship itself. No point of you going back and forward. So without further ado, let's get it started. So I just want to say thank you everybody for the comments and the love that we're getting from the last podcast. And if you haven't heard the last podcast, please do, as it will add more value to this one. There's no point in you listening to this one without hearing the old one itself. It gives you a little bit more clarity about who I am, what are we doing, and why is it called a journey itself. And also understanding that everything that we're discussing today will be discussed in details in the program that I've written. It's called l.o.v.e, which stands for the journey of oneself, mind, and body. And basically the journey of how to go from where you are now to where you desire to be within the love relationship. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be in a relationship. You don't have to be a couple. You don't have to be with somebody to understand this journey, to acknowledge it. There's nothing more powerful than understanding the journey of oneself with the relationship of your own self, rather than the relationship that you have with somebody else. Everything else within that really adds value to itself. So once you're understanding the value of yourself and the relationship of yourself, then you'll be able to understand the relationship that you have with others, and so on and so forth. And it's the same concept of that. If you don't love yourself, how can you love others? Similar concept. If you're in the plane, you put the mask for yourself before you put it on others. Similar concept with that. If you look in the mirror, who do you see? What do you see? Who can you define yourself? And can you define yourself within others? We tend to, all of us, wear different masks to hide ourselves from our true self to others, which is a very, very in-depth concept, which we'll discover sometime in the future. But we have to understand that no matter what we do wear, we have to be conscious enough to understand that we have to remove those masks eventually, so to let the world to see you. And this is where it triggers a lot of your soft spots within the relationship. An example of it, which we're going to discuss later on, but that's not today's topic. But just to give it a quick idea of it, is that that's why within a relationship, whenever you're having a conversation with your partner or you joking around, and sometimes you say something that really triggers them, and then almost the chemistry or the tension in the room almost dies, to the point that not only how dare you say that, or it even got to the point where I didn't even know there was a soft spot for you for me to mention it. Nothing superficial like weight or the fact you don't look good today. None of that. There's something more in depth that you didn't even know there was an issue until it was brought up. And the reason why we tend to go through that is just that the mask really hide our true self until we really get triggered. And these triggers really ignite those reactions, and those reactions will go on to haunt you for the rest of your life. It's called the ghost of the past, which we'll uncover later on. So yeah, so today discussing the love as a journey. Yes, the love that we have, the love that we need, the love that we seek, the love that we desire, the love that we really hold on to or dream about for such a long time that we hope to get eventually. We tend to get it eventually, don't get me wrong, but it's just how we take that journey and make it use it for our own advantage. So the reason why I call it a metanoia and why we call it a journey is just that everybody seeks love as a destination. They look at it as, okay, I'm in a relationship so I can get married. So that's a destination. Or I'm in a relationship so I can find myself. That's a destination. That people are in a relationship because they want to find happiness. Happiness is also a destination rather than a journey. Love should always be continuous, should be all ongoing, should be a growing stages, should be growing steps. So that's why I call it a journey. A journey is just that it takes it from A to B. B doesn't really exist in any form, in its metaphor. B could be anywhere else in the world that continue on growing. Love should never stop at marriage and should never stop at any point where you think you've got it. Or a lot of us tend to date somebody, and then the moment we hear the word "I love you," people tend to get freaked out or get a little bit wary and start to either bolt out or start saying, okay, maybe this is moving too fast. So this is where carpooling with somebody that understands your love journey, understanding why we're going together, it's essential. Getting the ideal person that you're gonna carpool with during your love journey is essential. And this is where it really a lot of people tend to. This is why a lot of marriages tend to break. This is why breakups tend to be horrific, and this is even why a lot of us that tend to be in a relationship and break up, or in a marriage and then divorce, the second time you get back together or get into that relationship again, it tends to die down quicker because we think that, oh, okay, I've reached that love stage before, I've been to that stage before, so I want to get there quicker. So the moment you take that love journey and you go on that destination or that drive, you tend to speed up so fast trying to get there as soon as possible. While the person that you're compatible, somebody that actually you're with, they're still driving at 60 miles an hour, 60 kilometers an hour, understanding, okay, maybe let me just take my time to reach that goal. But you thinking, no, no, I've been there before. I know exactly how it feels. I know exactly how it tastes, how it, all the sensations. I know exactly what it should feel like, and I know that limitation that I could push myself to. I know its potential. I know its ambition. I know its creativity. So let's just get there quick enough. So this way we can really live in a love world, a love country, a love happiness. It doesn't exist that way. You have to be able to understand to take this journey at the pace of each other. And this is why a lot of us tend to forget that a new relationship means a new reset in your life rather than a continuation. You don't continue even after you do a breakup or after you do a little bit of a separation between one another and you start the relationship once again. Say, okay, let's get back together. We say, okay, we were there once upon a time, so why not we just get there and then continue from there onwards? Not necessarily you broke up for a reason or you took a break for a reason. Took it because the destination or the speed that you guys were taking initially was never compatible, was never on the same rate. One of them was sleeping in your journey and then they woke up realizing, okay, I'm in the I love you stage. I didn't know we got there. What happened to the I like you to let's just date around stage? What happened to the first few stops along the way that we're supposed to stop to really understand one another before we get to that love destination? So I'm not sure why we got there. And this tends to happen a lot. And especially happens when one, you don't have the conversation with one another about what our love journey is and where the destination, where that fake destination should be, which direction you guys are going, which country, which city of love that you're gonna go, rather than just say, okay, hey, let me just take you for this lovely trip and let's just go for a drive. Now, don't get me wrong, I think that's beautiful, the spontaneity, it's amazing. But what if somebody that's you with don't understand that, don't comprehend that, don't like that idea, likes control, loves to have everything planned out and understand exactly where they're going, what time, and all that? What are you gonna get? You're gonna get somebody that doesn't really conceptualize this idea with you, and then you're gonna take them to this amazing destination with this great waterfall, beautiful lake, beautiful open space, and they're gonna tell you, listen, I didn't even know we're going here. Why did you take me here? Why are you saying to me I love you? I'm not even on that stage yet. I'd rather go where the buildings are, the hotels. Again, I'm giving you these metaphors. It's still a concept of a love journey. So it's still a journey in a sense, and we have to understand that we have to be compatible in these journeys. We cannot understand it from one dimension. We gotta understand it from everybody else's point of view. So if this is who you are, this is what you love to do, that spontaneity, love journey, just going for a drive, not caring what destination it is, and that's great. But what if you meet somebody that's opposite, and they tell you opposite attract until it finally bites you in the ass? Sorry, that's just true. Like the opposite attracts to a whole new extent, which is great. But sometimes the opposite part could be so horrific. I mean, opposite part, it just means that they're gonna have different values, different upbringing, different perspective on life, different approaches on circumstances and challenges and obstacles. And because of that, it might contradict severely with the way you interact with the world. So eventually the opposite will bite you in the ass. I'm not saying to you find somebody that's compatible, but you gotta find somebody that's not only independent within themselves, but they are also willing to go through the bickering and the conversation discussion that you have about your values and how do you execute these values in the right way. You might have somebody that loves the buildings but would love to go on a road trip that's somewhere opposite, where they go into the open field. So if that's the case, then plan your timing and your destination and this journey that you have with somebody onto the right time before you take them onto this love journey. Similar thing if you love the open road and open field and don't like that building journeys and hotels and lifestyle, for example, as your love journey, then that's fine. Then you have to understand that you gotta get out of your comfort zone on occasion just to really understand one another, to see things from their perspective. And that's the only thing that we're trying to do at the moment with every single discussion that we're having, with all the metanoia program that we're doing and all the stuff that we're doing for you guys. It's just that we have to understand what we need, and in order for us to understand that, we have to change your perception. Changing your perception and the idea that not everything's gonna align with the way you're going or align with the way you want it to go. So you just have to understand, maybe you have to do a little twist here and there with your perception to understand the viewpoint of others and understand the viewpoint of yourself as well. So that's why it's called metanoia. It's just a really growing and really understanding, taking on that journey into a different mindset, a different perspective about love and relationship itself. So the love journey, no matter what, in order for you to go on that journey properly, you have to understand one another. You have to understand what they need, what they don't want, and how the joy of the relationship itself, understanding things from different perspectives. And this is why a lot of people tend to, and let me say, understand the idea of love and idea of relationship, and they tend to just say I love you, they tend to say I care about you, they tend to say all that stuff, knowing that I've already been to that journey and I've already know what it tastes like, what it looks like. And they forget that your partner's also going through their love journey, and they're going through a different journey on its own. And that doesn't mean necessarily that they have the same destination, the same journey, the same concept of what love is. What if the people that went through love and love somebody that was wrong for them, or love somebody that cheated on them, love somebody that did them wrong, and they were in that relationship for such a long time that they never understood the concept of it. And then when they finally did, they understood that, okay, whenever I went through that journey, I always end up being hurt. So why should I go on that journey again? So when they get into another relationship and you take them on this great journey that's way different than the journey they've ever had, they're gonna think, okay, soon enough this person is gonna do the same detour, the same tour that person took me on before, and I'm gonna realize I'm gonna go on the same useless, pointless journey, and I'm gonna end up getting hurt. So when you take me into this I love you journey, I realize, okay, we're going into the same path that person took me on. You know what? I'd rather pull the brake and just move out. And how do we end up getting there? It's end up getting there by, let's say you sleep with somebody and then they realize, okay, I'm in the same stage now that I was before. And of course, before we get to that climax stage of your relationship, we tend to go through this strong emotion that you really want to be close to somebody. You really want to feel that connection. You really want to feel that ideal empowerment with one another. So we tend to say, okay, let me get that feeling. And I know once I get that feeling, I'll go into the same journey. The moment they get that feeling and they climax, they realize, oh snap, okay, I'm in that same journey that I was before. And you end up really, really hurting yourself to a bigger scale. So we just gotta be careful on the love that we take, or the journey that we take within the love. Understanding that two different people mean two different journeys, two different perspectives, two different environments, two different experiences itself. You might be taking me the same love journey that we do but doesn't necessarily mean that it's the same journey that I want to go into and understand. And this is where you understand it by doing one of the few things that you're supposed to understand, which is being conscious of where you are and your surroundings, your feelings in certain circumstances, and understanding yourself on its whole rather than just understanding yourself within the experience. And also, you gotta understand that there's some circumstances you have to be able to let go of that control. Control is a very, very, very strong concept that we tend to hold on to this idea of being in control because once upon a time we lost control. And that once upon a time when I lost control, I was very insecure, I was very scared, I was very nervous about where we're going, where we're heading, and I ended up going in a direction that I never wanted. It doesn't necessarily mean that you had it within the relationship, but I think it's more of how we were when we were growing up. Especially if you grew up in a, let's say, in a big family with many brothers and sisters, and you had no voice, so you felt lost within that circle, and you felt lost within the environment or the family environment. So you tend to say, okay, wherever I have to go, I have to compensate for that feeling by being extremely controlling. Well, just being controlling in itself. I have to know where I'm going, what time I'm going, where we're going, and so on. Or in other circumstances is that if you have, let's say, young brothers and sisters and something bad happened to them, so you get blamed for not being the good big brother or big sister to your brothers and sister. So you end up losing sense of your surrounding, and because of that you tend to say, okay, I'm not gonna go through this feeling again, so I have to make sure I understand where everybody's going. And it tends to be a little bit detrimental and a little bit insulting within the relationship when you ask them, where you going, what time you be back, how come why you go in this direction, why you wearing this, trying to control everything. And there's a lot of people that tend to say that they're doing that to make sure they're feeling comfortable within themselves, that okay, I know my partner's gonna be in this place, this place, this place, so if he or she is not there, I can be a little bit, I can ask a question and be mindful of where they're going and where they're heading. And that's fine, like, don't get me wrong, that's just being part of being in a relationship, is being caring to one another, understanding where everybody's going. That's fine. But we tend to take it overboard, and a lot of people do, and there's a lot of people do and don't give autonomy to somebody else. Let them be themselves within the relationship, and this is where they start smothering you with too much attention and too much control. They start questioning everything that you do, questioning your actions, your behaviors. Why are you doing this? Why are you wearing that? Why are you acting in this way? And we go in cycle and cycle, and then eventually that person either explodes and move out, or they become something which is even worse, which is dormant. They just become closed off. They just say to you, I'd rather not get into this anymore, I'd rather just be out. So they become very closed up, that they just say yes or no to any question. So if you ask them, have you done this? Yes. Are you gonna do this today? Yes or no. That's just it. They become so robotic, so dissociative, that they no longer respond to your emotional needs anymore. They become closed up. It's just because it's what you eventually push them to become. It tends to happen a lot, and we don't notice it until it's almost too late. And then when it's too late, it's either when they become so closed off that you get so confused, like, you used to love these things, how come you don't act this way anymore? It's because they're already closed off, they're already shut off. And then they realize in order for them to survive this relationship, survive this journey that they're going with you, is to just go along with it without asking any questions. And if that's the kind of relationship that you do desire, then by all means continue what you're doing. But if you do want to make a change, and you want to make a conscious change and understanding, then let's get into this journey together by understanding these processes, and get on and listen to all these podcasts, because I'll be sharing a lot of this information. And the moment, and anybody that likes this podcast and understand and likes this information that I'm sending, send us a like and a share or comment in it, so I can send you these free documents on how to change your perception within the relationship, how to change your relationship, and really how to train your partner to become the ultimate love machine, and also how to really change your relationship to the better. It's just basically it. I'm going to be sharing that, and then if you really want to get into the in-depth and really go through the nitty-gritty part of things and going through stages together and going through the journey with me together, then by all means send me a message, say you're interested in the Metanoia program, and I'll enroll you in, and then we can go through this journey together. And it's a great concept, it's a great journey, it's a proven system by which I've done it for many years now, and it's been working with no issues, with no hiccups. So I know it not only to effectiveness, but I know how it works to your best capabilities. So we go through this together. So now we understand a little bit about the love journey, and understanding that in order for us to redirect it or take it in a path that we're both compatible with, is having that proper conversation with one another, understanding them, just give them a little bit brief, not anything in depth, especially in the beginning of the relationship, giving a little brief about who you are, what you've gone through with your partners, and let them acknowledge. Make sure as you tell them all this stuff, you have to let them know that it's not gonna impact this relationship, or you try your best not to let it impact this relationship. The moment that it does, one, I'll let you know, and two, we'll work on this strategy together for us to direct this pain or this experience into a more positive thing. We get about 30 to 60,000 thoughts a day. So imagine the thoughts that we get whenever we feel insecure within the relationship, that we will go on this weird journey that we've never been to. We start asking too many questions, and nothing paralyzes us more than overthinking, especially when we go in the direction that we hope to get, which is the love direction. So if that happens, what happens then? You start thinking, okay, this person does not understand me. I'm going through this stuff. I'm going through the same journey that I've gone with the other person, and I didn't like the destination. I didn't like the journey we were going through. This person yelled at me. We had a lot of turmoil. We had toxicity within the relationship. We were not in sync. There was no communication. There's no chemistry. I'd rather get off this. I want to pull the brake, and I want to get out of this journey together altogether. So if that happens, that's fine. That's understandable, because that's what we're going through. This what our mind does. Our mind puts these scenarios in our head in order to make sure that we are number one and we survive. That's just it. So it keeps you in this loop, keeping going back and forward, and makes you understand, okay, this is what we have to go through. Let's understand this concept real quick in order for me to get out. So that's fine. That's what thoughts are. So the only thing is that in order for you to feel comfortable and feel compatible with one another, not only that your partner have to understand these cues or these warning signs that you're automatically having, and understanding that this is your triggers, I need to get in there now before things kind of get out of hand, but also you need to be acknowledged to say, listen, this is by the two concepts by Bill O'Hanlon, which is part of the solution-driven mentality. We're going to go through it in depth in the program, but I just share with you a concept now. And if you do want to hear more about it, by all means send me a message, and I'll send you the document about how to navigate your brain and navigate this thought process into a positive one. But what he said, that in order for you to understand what you're going through, you have to do two things. One of them is acknowledge what you're going through and accept what you're going through. I conceptualize this idea into a further concept, which is called surrender. Surrender to the cause, surrender to the thought process. All it means is that whenever you're going through these negative thoughts or negative experiences and negative impact of the journey, so let's say you start going on a journey together with your partner, and you start getting these anxieties and start thinking, okay, I'm not in control, I'm not driving, somebody else is driving, and I'm going to this destination that I have no idea where I'm going, and or I'm going to this destination that I know I've been there before. I'm going through in this journey that I know I've been there before, and last time I was there, I ended up feeling like this, feeling bad, feeling insecure, feeling negative about myself, and feeling even low about who I am. So I don't want to go through this. The moment you start feeling that, first thing first is to acknowledge the fact that you're going through it. Start saying to yourself, okay, I am going through all this negativity, I'm going through all this insecurity, I am feeling bad, I am feeling anxious, I am feeling uncomfortable. Acknowledge it. So acknowledge what you're going through. So okay, so this is the only way you can tame the beast is by naming it. They always tell you, I'd rather know that the devil that I know is better than the devil that I don't know. So you know your own demons, you know your own thought process. So acknowledge it. Say, okay, I'm going through this, I'm feeling uncomfortable. What do I need to do? I need to change. So you let your partner know, say, okay, I'm going through all these feelings and stuff. I need to understand, meet me halfway. How can I understand where we're going? And let me understand this love journey that we're heading to. So let's have these open communications. And then second is accept the fact that you were vulnerable once. Accept the fact that yes, this person did take me into that direction, but this doesn't necessarily mean that I'm gonna go in this direction now. Yes, I did feel insecure, unloved, and I'm feeling and felt a little bit weary when I was in that relationship. I accept that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going through this now. I have to understand that going in a relationship with, let's say, with John or Samantha, that it didn't mean necessarily I'm gonna go same thing with Jack and Jill. Either the names I choose, suck it. So this is the kind of idea. So doesn't mean just because you acknowledge this situation and accept it, we're not gonna go in the same direction, because first you did is that you no longer were scared of the demon. Demons is really what your thoughts manifest itself to, and they always tell you that problems are nothing but an illusion of a promised tomorrow. So if you're gonna think about the future, always thinking about, oh, where we gonna go, where we going, where we going. So you're thinking about the future, you're always gonna be stuck in an illusion that tomorrow will be better, that today sucks, and the past was just revolting. So what's the point? So you're always gonna be stuck in that loop, thinking, oh, where am I going with this? Where is he taking me? Why am I going through this process? Because you're thinking about the problem, thinking about the future, where it's gonna go. One, because you've gone through it before, and two, that you're feeling almost impractical, the fact that you are not in control. It happens. That's fine. So you gotta learn to acknowledge it first. Say, okay, I'm feeling this. I'm going through this. Talk to your partner. Say, okay, I'm going through this stuff. Let me understand you a little bit better where we're going, and then say, okay, I accept the fact that I felt like this. I accept the fact that I went into this horrible journey with somebody else, that it took me nowhere. But I gotta accept the fact that this journey is different. This journey is always gonna be different, because it's a different experience, a different relationship, a different lifestyle. And even if it's the same journey that you're going with somebody else, and you were going in the wrong path for, let's say, few years together, and you want to reshape it, that's fine. This is one of the things that you have to do. You have to technically, and you have to be consciously do this almost all the time that you go on this love journey. You have to, both of you, pull the brake. You have to just take a time, if you're going on a journey, stop in the next cabin, just relax, and stay a day or two there to reevaluate your relationship and where you're going. Reevaluate where you are now and where you want to head, where you're heading. And if it's the same destination, or the same journey that you're going through, then conceptualize the idea of what it's going to look like, how long it's going to take, where is it going to go. Just really start naming. And if you feel like you got in the same page, that's great. Even if you're not in the same page, but you're willing to compromise and accept the fact that you're going to go on the same page, on the same path, then that's great. That's even better. And I like that even more. And that's fine. Let's just accept the fact that we both are lost. We have no GPS, no navigation process, no pro that can take us on that journey, no somebody that lived through the experience, nobody. But we just have each other, because no matter what, choices are made from within, not from the external world. So then that's fine. Let's just go on this journey together, and let's just navigate things. If we get lost, then that's part of the process. If we get confused, that's part of the process. So accept it, acknowledge it first, then accept it. Accept the fact that, okay, I'm going in this direction. No matter where I'm going, it's gonna take me there. Then okay, take it, understand it, conceptualize it, grab it, hold it, run with it, whatever it takes. Take a nice car, no roof, top down, whatever. Just enjoy yourself. Go out there, enjoy yourself. See what the journey takes you. But you gotta understand that the journey will take you somewhere, and whatever it takes you, as long as you're together, and as long as you got understanding one another, go on that journey. Enjoy yourself, and that's the only way you're gonna learn. Of course, you're gonna have that weary feeling that, okay, what if it doesn't work out? What if it doesn't? So what? You wasted a little bit of time here and there, but you got an experience out of it. You got understanding. You got a good knowledge out of it. You got a great memory out of it, no matter what it is. And the best thing is that it's a learning experience. Now you know, if I go in this destination from now on with the same mentality, same format, same concept, I'm gonna end up in almost the same direction. And that's the case, that's fine. So let's go on a different path from now on. The next relationship that you get, make them understand, like, listen, I've gone through this path before. If you can reassure me it's not gonna go this way, that's fine. But in order for us to understand this, can we go in a different path where it's just compatible to just me and you? So let's go on this new journey together and understand it from one another's point of view. I'm gonna pause for effect. That's what I'm trying to say. That's it. Just understand that idea. It's really riveting idea once you get into it. So that's what the journey. So this is how you accept it and acknowledge it. Same thing with surrender. Surrender to the fact that you have no control. Surrender to the fact that every time you focus on the problem will amplify. The more you focus on this idea that you're gonna continue going in this cycle and I wanna grow from it, you always gonna get yourself stuck. Similar thing with going on a quicksand. If you're in the quicksand, the more you think about, okay, I'm in the quicksand, I need to get out, I need to get out, I need to do something, you sink faster, quicker to your own demise. And it usually happens. So what happens when you finally go into that scenario? You have to do what? If you surrender, which means just pause. As I said in the other concept, where you pull the brake and you take a day off in a cabin during your journey, just take a pause. Understand that the fact that, okay, I'm in this circumstance at the moment and it's not going the way it's supposed to go. Okay, let me just surrender to the cause. Okay, let me just acknowledge where I'm at. Let me just understand what I'm going through. Let me just evaluate the situation and then take you step by step to get out of it. Similar thing with the quicksand. Take it slowly. Take it slowly, but surely you will eventually get out. But just don't rush through a problem trying to solve it so quick so you can feel good about yourself. And this is what a problem is again. It's an illusion of a promised tomorrow. The past doesn't dictate you. The future doesn't. The past doesn't define you. The future doesn't dictate you. Only the present liberates you. So what does your present say? Present say, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that, I'm feeling insecure, I'm feeling unhappy. Okay, now you acknowledge it. Accept it. Okay, I'm feeling this way, but I know that I'll get out of it eventually. That's accepting the fact that, okay, there's a better future. So let's move on. Let's just move on now. Forget about everything else. Let's just deal with it now. And this is the how within the relationship. How you do all this stuff is just like acknowledging your own stages within the relationship. In the next episode, we're going to discuss about the 10 stages of dating and relationships. And we're going to really uncover what each stage is and how we really can get out of it. So that's fine. But the how in the relationship, as we just said, which is the acknowledging and understanding the relationship, and understanding how, where you are during this love journey and which direction that you're going. So staying present not only liberates you, but it also makes you understand that not only you both lost in this journey that you're going together, but it's also a very riveting idea that you're both going to be found together. You're going to find this new great journey that you're going to take, new path, new goal that you're going to head yourself out to. So go out there and enjoy it. And this is the best thing about having all these relationships, that you're going to understand eventually, I'm going to go in this journey, I'm going to go on this love journey with somebody, understand me, and the person that you are currently with will take that journey with you. But if you have somebody that's really bumping heads with you and they're going different speed, different directions, different destination towards their love, then this is where you can acknowledge it now and realize, okay, you know what, you're not going in the same journey as I am going, you're not going in the same concept that I am going, and you're not really understanding me in my own element and my experience. So if that's the case, I'd rather pull the plug, hitchhike my way out of here, and get back and go and continue another love journey with somebody else that can understand me better. Simple as that. Figure it out. So in order for you to figure this out, just write it down, the love journey that you want to go through, and really write down where you're going through this. And there's a lot of idea that that was taken from the Couple Skills by Matthew McKay. Yeah, Matthew McKay. And it just says to you that love begins with so much hope. The dream of one day feeling known, accepted to the core. The dream of belonging, of protecting and being safe. The dream of deep passion. The dream of lasting bond. But hope collides with the realities of love. Needs do not fit. Anger divides. Judgment erodes the once easy acceptance. Loneliness fills parallel but distant lives. So it's just a hope. So if you're gonna have a journey in your mind with love, you gotta have hope and believe the fact that you're gonna get there. Dream big that you're gonna get there. Dream ecstatically the fact that it's not only gonna be filled with many obstacles and hurdles and all these challenges that you're gonna go through, but love the fact that you're gonna go through it with somebody that wants to go on this journey together. Otherwise, if you fill it with anger, fill it with the reality that it would not be compatible, fill it with the idea that you're gonna judge one another and you're gonna feel lonely, then this parallel road that you're gonna take, it's not gonna go in the same direction as you. Not only that, but also erode the relationship itself, breaking it to a whole nother level, making it understand that we no longer on the same path. And one of the love codes that Dr. Phil spoke about in his book is that it says to you, we have to acknowledge things from people's personalities at an early stage. And he spoke about the acronym BETAs, which is like backstabbers, abusers, um, takers, and so on. But it says that in order for you to acknowledge the same traits that somebody has that you've once experienced before, you need to be able to have the logic to understand that, you know what, I need to get out of it now before it goes in that direction that you don't want it to go. There's a lot of traits. So you've gone through an experience before, you've gone through a relationship in the past or a divorce, whatever it is that you're going through, and you're understanding that there's a lot of warning signs. Understand those warning signs and hold on to them, and acknowledge them, that the fact that these warning signs come back again. It's your choice now to make the right decision and get out. The moment you decide to stay is that you're gonna go through the same journey again. You're gonna wake up one day in this journey realizing not only are you on the same path, but you're gonna go into this dark emotional emotional capsule or abyss that you're gonna go through again, realizing that it's not only going nowhere, but I'm gonna repeat myself in this history, and understanding that no more I'm gonna feel the true love of its essence and true love of what it's supposed to be. So that's how so this is where the concept itself lies, and we have to really conceptualize this idea before it goes too far. Otherwise, we're gonna be stuck in this horrible circle or cycle, should I say, without any happiness or any form of happiness at all. So you have to acknowledge it now. But if there's if you have the trigger, so there's three things that you have to acknowledge within the relationship, which is part of your warning signs. One being the triggers, or the things you never tolerate, the things that I will tolerate, and the things that I will sacrifice. Right? So the things that you'll never tolerate, let's say if it's excuses, cheating, if it's anything that stands by your morale or your principle that you can never break, these are the things that you should never tolerate whatsoever. Even if it's a one-off and it really pissed you off and they did it by accident and stuff, it's a really huge warning sign. They should acknowledge within yourself, saying, okay, I've gone through this before. For example, let's say they got drunk one day and they slapped you. Horrible concept, but yeah, let's just think there. And then this is one of the things you won't tolerate because you've gone through this before, and you understand that when they did that last time, I ended up in this horrible path. So what's the worst thing that you used to do back in the days is that you used to justify it. No, he was drunk, he was maybe upset, maybe I provoked him, maybe I said something that I shouldn't have said. No. Just no. Just please, no. Like, understand it very vividly, understand it very consciously and very quickly. Say, okay, I've gone through this. This is my biggest warning sign. This is my first thing that I will never tolerate. I will never tolerate this experience again. I will never tolerate this feeling that I'm feeling. I will never tolerate this experience that I'm experiencing. I'm never tolerate it. That's one. Two things that you tolerate, that you will tolerate a little bit, which is things that, for example, let's say they're late here and there. If you can tolerate it maybe once or twice, maybe 3 times, that's fine. Say, okay, he was late, circumstances did not allow it, that's fine. Or he was late because traffic, that's fine. Or he was late because he overslept, that's fine. So these are things that you could tolerate. It's your own list, so you can mention whatever things that you can tolerate and can't tolerate. And the things that you're happy to sacrifice, it could be the fact that you don't like going on. Let's say you don't like going to sports. Yeah, you don't like going to sports, but he loves it. You can sacrifice some time for yourself to go on and watch a sport with him. If he loves it and you love him, then what's the problem? It's just something that you have to you should be willing to sacrifice a little bit about yourself and a little bit of your time to understand that things that you can, you know what, I can live with that. I can live without having, let's say, an hour to myself just so I can go there and watch a soccer game with him, or watch an NFL, AFL game with him. That's whatever, that's fine. But these are the things that you're willing to sacrifice and willing to forego. That's just the idea of it. So these are 3 things. And as soon as you get into a relationship, especially new or even the relationship that you have now, things that you felt in, let's say, in the beginning of the relationship that you would like to feel again, and you will never tolerate anything less, then write it down. So you used to be romantic and take me out. I'll tolerate nothing less. Then okay, tolerate nothing less. Write down, I want you to take me out. And this. And if you cannot fulfill that, then by all means, you know exactly what kind of relationship you'll continue to have and what kind of love journey you will continue on going. Pull the plug if you have to. And the second thing is that if things you tolerate a little bit, which is back in the days you used to put his clothes everywhere around the floor and not put it in in the laundry, and that's fine. Tolerate a little bit by just telling him, okay, from now on, can you please do this? And if he does it once or twice, that's wrong, that's fine. You can tolerate a little bit, but eventually it has to change. Doesn't mean you tolerate it for the rest of your life. You just tolerate it until this person makes the change the right way. That's fine. And then, of course, the things to sacrifice. Okay, back in the days, in the beginning of the relationship, you used to sacrifice boys' time with me time. So I need you to do the same thing and sacrifice a little bit, so for our own happiness. Things you'll never tolerate, things you tolerate a little bit, and things you're willing to sacrifice or forego. So forego things maybe, I'm not sure. So things that you could forego. It could be a little bit drinking time, going out till late night with the guys or the girls, and then come back home a little drunk. That's something you can easily sacrifice. Not easy, of course, but you can sacrifice that just to make sure that the next day you can have enough energy, enough time to spend with your partner. Remember, the love journey is dictated and narrated and navigated by you guys. You guys are the GPS. You guys are the navigators. You are the passengers. You are the drivers of this love journey. Take it to whatever direction you want to take it. But you have to be able to understand. You have to be both compatible. And if it's not going the way you're supposed to, acknowledge it and accept it. Understand it. And if it doesn't go in the way you're supposed to, then write down your 3 triggers, which is the things you tolerate, you will not tolerate, things you tolerate, and things you sacrifice. Understanding that this destination, the love is a destination, it's a journey, not a destination. So don't think about a promised future, what it would look like. Just focus on it now. Is the emotions now? Is it better? Is it great? Cool. Then how can I make it a little bit better now by doing this, that? That's it. So navigate yourself in that direction. Don't focus on anything else. Don't dwell on anything else. And don't navigate yourself anywhere else in this world. And then so stay in present. And this is how the relationship will always be present to you and always fulfill you with that excitement, that great energy, that great fulfillment. And that's the way you should be. So if you ever want to get more details about all this information, or if you'd like to get a copy of the documents that I have about the couple skills, how to increase the love that you have, how to continue navigating yourself in the right directions, and how do you continue acknowledging and accepting the ideas and new triggers and stuff. If you want to get all that stuff, by all means send me a message and I'm happy to send it to you. Send it to you and acknowledge it. But if you really want to go in depth into the metanoia program, not only acknowledging these things, but acknowledging the 1,000 other ideas that we have, the 1,000 other concepts and strategies that we have to really change your upbringing, your perception about who you are to become the best ideal self you are, in order for you to get to the love, to go from the love that you have to the love that you desire, to this amazing journey, then by all means sign in. Let me know and I'll sign you up to the metanoia program, and we can go through this amazing 4 to 6 week travel journey together and get to this amazing destination. Okay, so I'm done for now. Thank you for all this listening. Thank you for all for participating. Thank you for the comment and the feedback. I want to show you much love, and I want to hopefully you get this amazing destination and this journey in your life. Much love and peace. I am Jay, the founder of Metanoia program, the founder of Jay Consultant. Send me love, send me comments and share. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Much love. See ya.